Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
And welcome to the Reaver Common Sense Show. I'm your host, Jersey Joe, and I'm here to make sense out of the senseless. That's right here on SHR Media, Conservative Media done right. How is everybody doing? This is a great day. Donald Trump is our president again. The adults are back in charge. Deep state's not going away that easy. They're still pulling some shit. I spent today watching all this stuff on Trump's inauguration. Watched him sign a bunch of executive orders that I am so excited about. Right before coming on, getting ready to get on air, he signed the withdrawal from the World Health Organization. I am so fucking happy. All 1,500 J6 prisoners, political prisoners, have been either pardoned or commuted. Now there's some issues going on. They're supposed to be released immediately. And there's one prison, I think it's in Fort Worth, Texas, that is refusing to release the J6 political prisoners, even though they've been fully pardoned and mandated for release. I'm seeing that all over X, people talking about it. It's a little bit behind. Sorry, I sound a little nasal. Hold on one second. Got the sniffles. So I'm trying to find out information, and I'll release it as we go. Marco Rubio has been voted in 99-0. It was funny. Me and my daughter were watching the vote. I was like, shit, that's right. He can only get 99. She's like, why? I can't get 100. Why not? I was like, Marco Rubio's the one senator and you can't vote. Ew. But instead, he got 100%. Marco Rubio is now Secretary of the State. It's just, let me pop this up. Let me set this up to go up. We might have some visitors on the show later on. I don't have it up on screen yet. All right. Here is Donald J. Trump signing the pardons for the J6 political prisoners.
Sir? Yes, sir. First, we have a list of pardons and commutations relating to events that occurred on January 6, 2021.
Okay, and how many people is this?
I think this order will apply to approximately 1,500 people, sir.
So this is January 6th. These are the hostages. Approximately 1,500 for a pardon.
Yes.
Full pardon.
Full pardon or commutation?
Full pardon. We have about 6 commutations in there where we're doing further research. Nice to see you again.
You would never see Joe Biden
So this is a big one.
sit down. In fact,
Anything you want to explain?
we'll talk about his.
We hope they come out tonight, frankly. They're expecting it.
Right there is expected him to be out.
Approximately 1,500 people. Six commutations.
Were there any cases you did not commute or pardon of people?
We're looking at different things. But the commutations would be the ones that we'll take a look, and maybe it'll stay that way, or it'll go to, full pardon.
And the order does require the Bureau of Prisons to act immediately on receipt of the pardons and commutation orders. Sir, this is...
Let me play that over again, because that's very important right now.
Or it'll go to, full pardon.
And the order does require the Bureau of Prisons to act immediately on receipt of the pardons and commutation orders. Sir, this is...
In other words, they're supposed to be released tonight. But one of the jails, prisons in Fort Worth is playing games. And, oh, well, it's a federal holiday, so we don't have everybody on staff here tonight, which is kind of a bullshit answer. Where am I? It's the sack echelon just put, so I'm guessing Myakis is the proverbial sacrificial lamb. And what that's in reference to is all the blanket pardons that Biden has issued. It's unbelievable. But I question that heavily because there's been some court cases. Hang on. Exactly. Another one from Sean is me in 25 years laughing. And then the media decides to go after the highly successful and high function autistic man who was the guest of a president by calling him a Nazis after he said, "You have my heart," and excitedly motioned giving his heart away. Yeah. That is why the mainstream media is no more. It's, I know I've been jumping around on topics. J6 political prisoners are just posting all over that they've been contacted, they're pardoned, they're excited. It's one of the guys posted, "I was just called by my attorney. I can now officially say I've received a full, complete, and unconditional pardon. Thank you, at the real Donald Trump. For 4 years, I have been silenced by my plea agreement, which was a lie from top to bottom. The government forced me to sign a false confession to avoid going to trial in D.C. on felony charges for things I did not do. 4 long, terrible years, my family, my employees, everybody who loves me, and I have been relentlessly tortured and abused by the Biden administration. He is now going on the news, and his gag order is lifted. And that is going to not spell good for the Democrats or Joe Biden. I think you're going to see a lot more stories of these J6 prisoners coming out and talking exactly what happened. You have people that have been sitting for 4 years that still did not have a court date. That's against the Constitution. That is, you have a right to a speedy trial. 4 years without a date, without anything. These people were put in solitary confinement, could not talk to their lawyers, given buckets to shit in. Oh, no, that wasn't political retribution from the Biden administration. And every single one of those fucking guards that did any of that should be charged. Put them in the prison that they abused the prisoners with. That is outright uncalled for and just appalling. You're the officers of the law and you abused your privileges. And I was ordered to do so is not an excuse. It's appalling. Now, it's not to say I agree with everything that went down on January 6th. Do I think it was made out as drastic and as bad as the Democrats make it sound like? No. Nothing anywhere near it. Oh, another good one from Sackhead Sean. Repeat after me. I support the mass deportation. No amount of emotional propaganda videos will change that. The border is closed, people. That CBP app, I think it is, was shut down by noon. All appointments with illegal aliens were canceled. So now the lamestream media is trying to tug at string hearts by having these immigrants crying because my appointment got canceled. Not buying it. Tired of the bullshit from lamestream media. It's... Oh. Hang on. Some people are stupid. Accepting the pardon, Supreme Court has commented, ruled on. By accepting a pardon, you're accepting or admitting guilt. It's not that for most of these people, not all of them, for most of them, it's not that they didn't break some kind of law, whether how minor. What the issue is the severity that our government went at them. When the same government that went at these people allowed Antifa to take over towns, burn down police stations, and let them go. We've seen it time and time again with the left riots. Oh, I'm sorry. Protest. They get away with it. So, and that goes into a little bit we'll talk about real quick. As I said, we might have some guests coming in tonight. So we might go over some topics a little bit once they get here. But on his way out, Biden continued to shit on the country, giving blanketed pardons to his family. I seem to remember back in 2020, Chuck Schumer on the Senate floor chastising Donald Trump because he heard that Donald Trump was looking into giving blanketed pardons to his family. And, oh, you can't do that. That is unconstitutional. You can't. Oh, no. But now Biden goes and gives everyone on the J6 committee, everybody from their secretaries to the Congress personnel, Fauci. So by accepting these, and you're talking Adam Kinzinger and Elizabeth Warren have accepted pardons, which means they have to accept guilt. Oh my God. There's already a group that has just launched a new campaign calling for impeachment inquiry into Donald Trump for offenses he has already committed upon taking the oath. Give me a fucking break, people. Give me a break. It's not going to go anywhere. That is, people don't know when to give up. But here's a list. This is a video of a bunch of Democrats yammering on about Donald Trump possibly. There's no confirming that he was going to do it. Asked about it. But they took the bait. And now it's coming back to bite them in the ass. Let me. Come on. No. Sean's here. Sean. Hold on one second. How are you?
Howdy.
How you doing, sir? How are you doing?
It's one of those days that's been very exciting, very long. We did a 3-hour show last night. I was up at 4 o'clock this morning for obligations. I've been going all day. I got home not too long ago. I'm trying to get caught up on everything that I might have missed. Making my appearance on your show, and hopefully I'll have enough time between shows to throw some food in my fat face and then do my show at 8 p.m. Pacific. So,
you got your show tonight?
Huh?
That's right. You got your show tonight. That's right.
That's right. It's the first night at the new time. So, really excited about it. Really happy to have it. I opened it up. I don't know. There's just so much to talk about. It was such a big first day. It was such a fun first day. It really was a good day for our country.
Did you see they're already calling for the impeachment of Trump?
Oh, yeah. I knew that was coming. The lawsuits, the impeachments, you name it.
It's almost hysterical if it wasn't so sad.
And predictable. And look, I did a poll. You talk about the pardons first. I don't know if you hit on those earlier or not.
But like I'd let everybody know when you got here, we'd probably go over stuff again.
I think it was 3 days ago, I ran a poll if he was going to issue more pardons at the last minute. And somebody even asked me in the poll, they said, well, when's the last moment that he can actually issue the pardons, meaning Biden? And I had said, right up to the last gun's fired, right up till until Trump is sworn in. And that was my fear, is that he was going to do it during the swearing in. So the media coverage goes to the swearing in and not the pardons. And, when we called them the Biden crime family for all those years, and the media used to they would just piss their pants so badly. How dare you? And blah, 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 this, that, and the other thing. And look, you posted it earlier, and you were the first person I saw that posted the Supreme Court ruling that essentially says, if you take a pardon, you are you're guilty of a crime, right?
Let's even back it up a little bit more. It'd be advancing a little bit more, because Biden's DOJ in court told J6 political prisoners that if they took a pardon, they are admitting guilt.
Yep.
So his own DOJ made that ruling.
Yeah, they knew what it was going to be. And here we are. I mean, it's just, it is mind-boggling to me who he issued it to. And I haven't checked the legalities, but I don't believe, for Millie's sake, that the pardon covers a military tribunal or a court-martial.
Now he can still get court-martialed.
And
Florida already has a grand jury into Fauci, because he could still be charged statewide.
State levels. And if he perjures himself at all.
Yep.
Hold on one second. I'm helping out the old man in chat.
BZ.
Yep.
What do you break now?
No. I think because we put the links for guests, I put my link in too. And I got to shoot some over to my friends over at the other network, because I invited one of them on. But I think he's clicking on my link for my 8 p.m. show and not your link for the 6 p.m. show. So,
well, why that gets straightened out? Actually, I want to play a video. It is
literally the most BZ moment we could have.
Exactly. Roughly back into the 2020s, when Adam Schiff and Chuck Schumer and all them. Oh, you can't give a blanket. No president can give a blanket pardon. So let me pull that up real quick.
You ever heard of somebody getting a preemptive pardon who was innocent of all crime? Who's just an innocent person? Have you ever heard of that? Just somebody getting a blanket pardon and they're an innocent person?
But no, it's the president's own family. It's people that have been covering up for the president in addition to his own family.
Is there an innocent explanation for someone to seek preemptive pardons for family members? Would you do that if you knew you were innocent and just worried about outside forces?
The answer to that is going to be no. If you haven't done anything wrong, you sit there and go, what do you need a preemptive pardon for?
If he pardons people preemptively, he's essentially telling the public that these people have committed crimes. And we may not be aware of what they are, but the pardon is clear evidence that crimes have been committed.
I imagine if he decides to issue these preemptive pardons, it will be cast in a way that he's protecting his family and protecting their reputations from, villainous exterior forces that are against.
First off, we should just
you got to actually question whether or not Trump was playing 4D chess back then. And if he knew something like this was going to happen, it's amazing. It is amazing what they will do and the amount of shite that they will step in with their big idiotic clodhoppers and then shove said clodhopper into mouth over and over and over again.
Now, I was listening to Sean Hannity when I went to pick my wife up from work. And he said he liked that Biden did this because the Democrats have now set the president for president stepping out of office to just throwing pardons to everybody.
Yeah, and I don't like that precedent being set.
But if it's going to be set, let the Democrats do it.
Look,
and they can't bitch. They will, but they can't.
I know Beasy. This is one of Beasy's axioms, and I will quote the old timer, even though he's present. And it's kind of weird that I just set that up like that, but that's not important right now, is they always accuse you of what they are doing.
Yes.
And this is another prime example of what they made accusations about and what they were doing behind the scenes.
Yep. Good evening, BZ. How are you doing?
Hello, Hall. How are you, mate?
Let me tell you, I'm loving the EOs that Trump signed today. I loved his speech in the inauguration or his swearing in, and he pretty much shit all over Joe Biden right in front of him. I just loved it. I know I'm being mean and it may be petty, but I loved that he rubbed it right in their Democrats' face, what he's doing.
I don't think you mean you're petty.
Did you see when he thanked God about that he's still alive, and everybody clapped but the Democrats? That was come on, people.
They're just filthy, and that's what it comes down to. It's amazing to me how they can sit and claim to be the party of just love, and they always have been. We're always the love and caring one. When Trump says, "Hey, I'm just happy I'm still alive and that sniper's bullet didn't get me," and they're all just sitting there boo-boo faced. Did you see Bernie Sanders? It was, oh God,
he looked like one of the two guys in not Sesame Street, but the two old guys that sit on the balcony.
Statler and Waldorf
in the Muppets.
Statler and Waldorf.
Yeah, his frown lines around his mouth couldn't have been more creased.
But I also feel sorry for Doug Emhoff, and everybody's going.
No, I know exactly. I know where you're going with this already. I'm not gonna. I won't step out.
He's got to sleep with Trump tonight.
Yes.
Kamala back in November 3rd swore that on January 20th, 2025, Doug Emhoff was sleeping with the president.
I wonder what Melania has to say about that.
I wonder how he feels that he's going to be the little spoon.
Yeah, exactly. I thought that was one of the funniest things that one of the things that I've really enjoyed in life in general, with all of these, with the internet being what the internet is the comedy that has come as a result. It's just amazing. It really is just amazing.
All right. Did you guys see Marco Rubio has been voted as Secretary of State 99-0?
Yes.
Let me see. What's his Pete Hegseth. I got it right this time, so fuck you, Sean.
Yeah, you're welcome.
He has been voted out of committee to the full Senate. So probably that will be tomorrow because they already convened the Senate for the night.
Yeah, I suspect that's going to go in the morning. And look, Rubio was 99-0.
Yeah.
And the one missing is Rubio because he can't vote for himself. And I will give Democrats credit when it is time to. They were right with that one. Look, this is a chance for Marco Rubio to show the world who he is and do a good job and show that he is not the same rhino that he was 12 years ago when he was Super Rhino Land. He's come around lately, at least in his words. Let's see how his actions are as Sec State. He's come around in the Senate too. He's definitely shored himself up. So for them to do 99-0, and I know we know they're going to use this to tout later at some point. Well, we all of us voted for Marco Rubio, blah, 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 as soon as we hold them up because, they want to put in an orangutan as the.
But have you ever noticed whenever it's a senator that's given a position, they're always taken pretty much easy on them. It's a respect thing.
Well, and let's be honest. And BZ, I don't mean to.
That's me.
But let's be honest. As there is really nothing that you could say as a senator to push back on Rubio being Secretary of State. He's got the credentials. He's got the background. He's got the temperament. He has the history. BZ, could you think? I mean. From a rational point of view, could you think of something that they would try to jam back in his face?
Yeah, now see, there you go. He's kind of 1.5 fur because he's not a female, but he is Cuban, so they can't discount the half fur in him. But if anybody votes against him, it's only going to be because, well, fuck you, we don't like you. It's as simple as that.
And admittedly, from everyone I've ever known inside Washington that knows, senators and have met Marco Rubio, they've all said he's a very pleasant human being in person. I've never heard anyone utter a mean thing about Marco Rubio. So at least personality wise.
Well, Trump in 2015.
That wasn't personality wise. He was just making fun of his hands.
Little Marco
Rubio. But BZ said this last night during the special. You have to understand how Trump operates, and when he's in a dogfight, he's throwing out every grenade that he can to win in that moment.
But all politicians do. I mean, Kamala went after Joe Biden.
No, they don't.
Mm-hmm.
All we did is we watched Biden and Obama give everything away in terms of deals. It was a deal for the people on the opposite end of the deal, but it was never a deal for the United States of America. We gave, they took, move on.
All right, I'm thinking, when like I was bringing up about Trump and Marco, when it's primary season, everybody goes at each other. And then once they pick their candidate, it's kind of meshed back together.
Yes.
That's where I was talking about.
Did you see he withdrew from the WHO?
Yes. I hoot and hollered when that came up.
Was that not glorious? Let's all sing together. Was that not glorious?
Was there EO that he signed today that you're against?
What's that?
Is there any EOs that he signed today that anybody's against?
No.
Most of them are on whitehouse.gov. I just noticed that. I have not been there yet to look at all of them. But of the ones that I was listening to, by the way, speaking of which, this is again, I'm going to say the word glorious a lot, apparently, during this show. I happen to be watching while Trump was signing EOs in the office. Okay, not at the desk on the stage. And there's some chick in the background. And I think he said she was from Brazil. And she made something about some comment about the economy, or how are you going to handle the economy, or how are you going to handle the money situation and the debt. And he said, oh, you're from Brazil. And I think she said in the background, because he couldn't quite hear, she wasn't mic'd. She said, yes. He said, oh, you're from BRICS. Pause. Do you even know what BRICS is?
No.
She didn't. So essentially what he did is steamrollered her ass.
She didn't know what BRICS was?
No, there was no rejoinder. There was no reply to that. And so essentially what he said, he rephrases. Have you noticed, mortality meet Trump, June of last year. He's much more low key now. He says the same shit. It's just the
delivery.
The decibel level is lesser these times. So he took a poleaxe and ran it through her sternum, which she was unaware of. She was not cognizant of that. And then essentially said in fairly nice terms that if the BRICS nations think that they're going to go around the United States of America dollar, I'm paraphrasing. You have no idea what kind of holy hell you are going to end up getting rained down upon you. If you think tariffs are bad, just wait. So, like your Furuno radar on a commercial vessel. If you didn't understand what was in that sentence, you're a moron.
Oop, my bad. Sorry.
Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, you hit the nail on the head. And look, he just did essentially a press conference whilst he was signing the executive orders. And I mean, one-on-one with Peter Doocy for what, an hour almost, where they were just rapping back and forth, like chewing the fat conversation, completely just at ease, easy going back and forth. And that was more than Biden did in 4 years.
And I was just going to say, have you seen Biden do that? Nope.
Mrs. BZ and I were talking as that was going on, because we've just been enjoying the day today. We went out and got a bag and came back, and I popped my own popcorn, and we were eating popcorn, watching this, just enjoying the hell out of this glorious day. See, there I go, number 4. And we both looked at each other and said, do you see how casually and easily he's doing two things at once, because that was essentially his job for decades. So he's signing EOs. The guy over his shoulder is explaining the EO to him. He's mentioning about the EOs. He's getting questions from out in the boneyard land. He's responding to the questions. He's throwing them back at him, especially the chick from Brazil. That wasn't the only time she asked something really stupid. And, zinger back at you, zinger back at you. And I'm signing more EOs, and the EOs are being explained to me over here. And he's fielding questions from Peter Doocy et al. And he's still signing more EOs, explaining the EOs. Here we go. That's what a facile, cogent president does.
Exactly. You mean there was no immense stuttering, and there was no stammering of words and forgetting where he was in the middle of his conversation?
Yeah.
And then the whispering.
Yeah.
My favorite part, and I have the clip that I'm going to play on my show tonight, is when whoever was handing him the executive orders turned around and said, and he goes, "What's this one?" And whoever was handing him the executive order goes, "Oh, that's the World Health Organization withdrawal." And he goes, "Ooh, that's a big one."
No, I do want to throw out there, change it up just a little bit. We can come back to this in a second. Did you notice on the pardons coming from Biden, there was 2 big names left off that list?
Mayorkas,
and Vinderman, or however you say the name.
Oh yeah, Alexander Vinderman.
He's not happy.
Oh, did you see? I'm gonna have to look on my phone.
I wish to introduce to you the proverbial sacrificial lambs, and that's
tweet.
the 2 of them.
I kept the tweet. God dang, let's see if this is.
While you're looking that up, also serve reports that Fetterman within the week is going to be switching to the Republican Party.
Yep.
Are you serioso?
Yep. And NCX group posted that in the chat, and I'd seen that. It came out what I saw the early rumblings of, and somebody also messaged me, hey, there is going to be a Democratic senator changing sides next week, and everybody's under the assumption that it's going to be Fetterman, and it would make sense. You know, like we said last night, a little stroke will do you.
I hadn't heard it. Okay, let me show you this. This is great. Okay. I don't have this to screen share because it's not available. You guys aren't going to be able to see that. Let me just read it to you. This is it's a tweet from Rachel Vindman, which
the wife,
I'm guessing is the wife.
Yes, 100% the wife.
And it's 7:32 a.m. today. And it reads, whatever happens to my family, know this. No pardons were offered or discussed. This next sentence is, what is it? Glorious. I cannot begin to describe the level of betrayal and hurt that I feel.
Oh, wait a minute. I was a little late, but
my favorite part about that is, once again, why do you need a pardon if you've done nothing wrong?
Why does Fauci need a pardon all the way back to 2014?
Right.
Okay, let's do what I think you guys have already done any number of times, and you've probably done here, Joe, before I came, and I'm guessing that you're going to do in a couple of hours, Sackhead Sean, is say something similar. We will all on our shows and mine tomorrow night probably end up discussing the various pardons, the preemptive pardons.
Mm-hmm.
And let's say everything just settles. It's there. It's in a vacuum. It all calms down. Maybe it goes away, whatever. Let's say it's simply not adjudicated. As I've said for years and years, especially now, is when you open that door, expect everyone to walk through. So this is what it encourages. Let's say that in the process of a presidency, you decide that you have a predisposition that you're going, not you yourself as a president, but you're going to surround yourselves with individuals, contract with an individual, agree with an individual who is going to go out and actively commit a crime for you or your party. And you already know, let's say it works. And then you decide that at the very end, I'm just going to pardon, or dudette, I'm just going to pardon your ass. No crime, no suspects, preemptive or real pardon. Dude, it's over. So now you can plan that shit. Open door, walk through.
Well, let me actually finish playing the videos of back in like 2020 of Democrats saying how you can't give blanket pardons. That's what I was playing just as you came in, BZ. So
okay.
Take a deep breath and acknowledge the audacity of a president who's so clearly concerned about his own criminal culpability and that of his family members that pardons are a major obsession with him.
The idea of a kind of prospective pardon, this sort of permanent federal get-out-of-jail-free card, that seems to be what we're talking about in the case of this, right, with Giuliani and his 3 eldest children who, as far as we know, have not been convicted of a crime. Maybe they've committed a lot, and they don't want to face action. I don't know. It's weird. I wouldn't ask for a pardon. I don't think I deserve one because I don't think I've done anything criminal. But like, where does that come from? That concept that you can just kind of wave your magic pardon wand.
We have Tish James. We have Xavier Becerra. Mimi Roca is literally my DA in my town. There will be opportunities to prosecute these people, regardless if they abuse the pardon power as they are thinking.
Hopefully, Ellie, there will be a skyfall on this entire crime family, and there will be another day for them to die.
The president does indeed pardon, let's say, Rudy Giuliani or any members of his family. Would you see that, and I asked Preet Bharara this question, as essentially an admission of guilt?
I certainly would view it that way. I think millions of Americans would view it that way. If there was no belief in criminality, why would he think a pardon was necessary?
CNN has learned President Biden will pardon his son Hunter Biden.
Imagine that.
I thought it had Schumer on the Senate floor giving his big rah-rah speech, how a president cannot give a blanket pardon, excuse me.
Well, there's allegations, and the Hodge twins just put this out, and I didn't know this either. The Capitol Police Officer Michael Burr that we talked about last night on the show allegedly received a pardon.
Yes, I heard that too.
And if that's the case, would that make him, based on the Supreme Court ruling that we talked about, would that make him no longer eligible to work law enforcement?
Potentially.
I would think so.
Unless all you do is you abide by Thug's law.
Right.
Which everybody else has up to this point on the left.
Dude, I'll tell you right now, if I ever got a presidential pardon, the life I would live after the fact. Because I'd want one not only retro, but I don't care really about retro, but I'm like, can you give me one for now in the next 5 years? Do you know how many VHS tapes I would record with full immunity? Nobody would ever be able to touch me. And the amount of tags that I would pull off mattresses, I'd be out of control. I would be out of control. Oh, that and the giant moonshine operation that I would start.
Yeah, but it wouldn't be clear, would it? Wouldn't it?
No.
Wouldn't it be some kind of a darker liquid? I'm thinking.
It would be after a few years.
Honey flavored, really nice thing like that.
Get a nice barrel to put it in.
The rum, and you take some Jack Daniel barrel chips, put it in with it. And
nothing wrong with that.
Age.
Nothing wrong with that whatsoever. But yeah, I'd be off the hook if I had a federal pardon, man. I'd be out of control.
I'd be looking at a couple banks.
Nah.
As long as no one's hurt. Hey.
They can still go after you on the state level.
Yeah.
So you have to do anything
over a certain amount is a federal, not a state issue.
No, they can still hit you with the state law for it. They choose not to because of the amount of people that do get charged federally, but they also don't charge a lot federally, and they charge them in local courts. Also, it can go either way. It just decides how they want to handle that case at that particular time.
I'm not going to read the whole thing. FBI Agents Association tweeted on the statement of the commutation of Leonard Peltier.
All right.
The FBI Agents Association is outraged by then President Biden's decision to commute the sentence.
I have a feeling
because their ox was gored. Nobody gives a shit until their personal ox is gored. Then the gloves are off.
I have a massive feeling that in the next 6 months, you are going to see a massive shift in the overall federal employee basis because so many people are going to bounce out.
Yep.
And right now, if you get to think of, if you open the flood taps to hire, not just at the FBI, but any federal agency, you open up that flood taps to start refilling the positions that are necessary. You're getting all the people who are Trump supporters now that would want to work for him, filling those positions. And if if all of those people who allege they're going to resign resign and they have to fill those positions, you are going to actually get people that love this country in those positions, and it will change the overall federal workforce, which I think would be a very interesting
Well, we're going to see
outcome.
a mass resignation in a lot of
in
departments.
theory. We'll see how many
the
people actually.
Yeah, but you're going to see, oh, I don't want to go back to the office. I'll find another job that can pay me to sit my ass home.
Well, maybe. And
he ordered them all back to work now.
And I've also heard that he is going to order the funding for those 88,000 IRS agents to be pushed over to Border Patrol and be reassigned to Border Patrol.
Yes, he made that statement. I can't remember, it was this afternoon at the swear-in or at the arena.
I think it was. I think it was at the arena.
Yeah. There was so much said.
Nice.
The one I want, I can't wait to see, because you're starting to see it right now on X. A lot of J6 political prisoners, had gag orders on them, and now they're pardoned. They can speak out, and they're starting to speak out. And one is claiming that he was forced to sign his confession.
Did you hear the numbers of J6?
1,500. Six were commuted for right now.
100.
Yeah. The 6 that were commuted for right now, they're going to look deeper into it, and they still might get pardons. But you have Fort Worth, Texas prison that was not, when I got on air, was not releasing any of the J6 prisoners, even though they were ordered by the executive order or the pardon to be released immediately.
Well, I do know that Atwater was releasing, because I've seen 2 tweets saying that the people in Atwater have been released.
And there were 2 people that I just watched on an interview on Newsmax, two women. One is going to be sentenced tomorrow, I believe. And the other one has been ordered to appear for her sentencing for term January 25th or 29th, one of the two. So that's going to directly affect them immediately.
Yeah, now it should be canceled immediately. They've been pardoned.
Yeah, it's
Did you see the numbers on Biden's pardons? Over 8,000.
Well, with commutations and pardons, it was close to that. Yeah, more than anybody else. More than anyone else. The only person in second place in recent memory is Obama.
Yep, and he was at 1,000 something. But I seem also remember they were bitching at Trump on the way out in 2020 about how he was pardoning all these people, and that's uncommon for a president to do it. But again, media is silent as this president shits and burns the country down as he walks out the door.
Well, they weren't even just silent. They were complicit, right? I mean, they were telling us not to believe our lying eyes.
Yeah. It just, I don't know.
Was Schiff a member in that pack of pardons?
I know he did get a blanket pardon too, even though he says it's unwise for President Biden to do it, and he still says that it's not right to do it, but he accepted his.
I was going to say, but he
should be removed from every single committee.
I agree. Hey, Joe,
15 yards and loss of down, and the other team refuses the penalty.
Yeah,
what's wrong?
Seriously. I want to share this because and this is a little lighthearted, but the question that was posed with this video is, what is going on here? And I want everybody's reaction to it. Here we go. Hold on, wait for it.
Did he just fart?
Wait.
He just farted.
I think so.
And his wife, did you see his wife in the lower right-hand corner? She peeped in for just a second and said, "Honey, did you fart?"
Yeah. No, look, you're married. You know what that was. It was was that you?
Yep. Can't take you anywhere.
But that was my first reaction. I'm like, oh, he clearly just farted right there.
And
that smirk on his face gave it away.
Yeah. It goes back to whoever smelt it, dealt it.
Yeah. Well, actually, that reminds me. Perfect example. We're driving home from picking my wife. All of a sudden, my wife starts laughing hysterically. What the fuck's up, hon? Nothing. Why are you? She could not stop laughing. She goes, I farted.
Just wait for it.
Oh, my wife has a mandate for you too.
Okay. Oh yeah, what's that?
Cut her hair.
No, she wants your show on earlier.
Oh well, I'm sorry, I can't. I literally cannot do anything about that right now.
You guys' show.
Plus, Sean, it's historical, is it not? It's historical.
It is
Sackheads,
historical.
8 p.m.
It is now historical.
I told her, but she said nope.
Chat show, 8 p.m.
Yep. 8 p.m. was the starting time slot for the entire network.
And the other thing is that we both know, all three of us know also, that at that point, especially on the East Coast, we can say fucking shit and all the stuff that just tumbles out of our mouths, which is glorious.
I would
only adults.
I would never fucking curse. Never.
Thank God.
Yeah.
Thank God. One of us is a bit sacrosanct. Good. Outstanding.
Wow. This is just it, and I'm definitely going to share this on my show.
Okay.
It's a screenshot from one of the executive orders, and I don't get the title of which one has to do with weaponizing the federal government. Review the activities of all departments and agencies exercising criminal or civil enforcement authority in the United States, including but not limited to the Department of Justice, the Securities and Exchange Commission, and the Federal Trade Commission over the last 4 years to identify any instances where the departments or agencies' misconduct were abused. It started up earlier. It said, and while the Department of Justice has ruthlessly prosecuted more than 1,500 individuals associated with January 6th and simultaneously dropped nearly all the cases against the BLM rioters. That's all in the same passage.
See, what that addresses, though, is it appears to me at first blush that it addresses the deep state issue of all these various agencies, unelected individuals making laws and regulations that went nowhere and were vetted by no one except the agencies themselves.
Yes. And outside January 6th, how many people have been prosecuted for administrative laws that were not on the book laws, but administrative laws, especially when you start getting into EPA, Department of Fisheries, all that stuff?
Not many, if any. I want to throw three things at you guys real fast.
Okay.
51, intelligence.
Baby.
John Bolton stripped of his national security.
Baby.
See ya.
And videos are coming out at a Washington, D.C. federal prison as J6 prisoners are being released. You have
saw this coming.
Anti-protesters outside starting some violence with them.
So there, from what I was reading about that, is it was the anti-Trump protesters that clearly they couldn't do anything because not a lot of them showed up this time. It's funny how few people showed up this time. And when they weren't getting any
inside for one.
Well, and even still, but they just weren't that many there. And they weren't gaining any traction with the media or getting any real coverage. So they went down there to get more coverage. That's all it's about.
But the only one that getting coverage that's pissed me off, Elon Musk. Oh, he's giving a Nazi salute.
Yeah.
Fuck off with that.
After he said the words, "I'm giving you my heart," and grabbed his chest and pushed his arm out to the people. And they're calling that the Nazi salute. And it goes to show you, and I put out a tweet earlier that's essentially me and 25.
It's only PBS, isn't it?
PBS. And you know what's funny is they're keeping the main post up. Well, no, there are other media outlets jumping on it now. They kept the main post up, but under a second post under that, they said, oh, but we also had a reporter there who did hear him say, "I'm giving you my heart." And it's like that mini retraction that'll never get traction because it's the secondary post.
And you see everybody posting, how many Democrats with their arm up in a Nazi type salute. You know,
Yeah, it's
guess what? Nazis drank water.
yeah, exactly.
Pelosi's the Nazi.
I don't want to live in a country where an excited autistic man is showing appreciation to a lot of people and have that be attacked because he was doing something positive. I don't know if I want to live in that country. Elon Musk is autistic.
We the people, white supremacist.
He literally just put, frankly, they need better dirty tricks. The everyone Hitler attack is so tired, and he just posted that.
Brooklyn Daddy's throwing a hissy fit over Trump.
Don't even follow him.
I don't either, but it keeps coming up on my goddamn feed. I hate seeing that guy. He makes me sick.
Don't forget the OK hand sign added to list of hate symbols for white supremacy. Let's not forget that.
But throw
white supremacist.
Huh?
It is unbelievable what they will do in order to cause outrage and limit all of your forms of communications, and don't want you to have any fun. Everything you say might be considered blah, 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 blah. Thank fucking God we have 4 years of Trump.
Yep. And first thing I said to my daughter when he got sworn in, I said, the adults are back in charge. And I think this time it's going to even be better because he knows he has a lot more knowledge of what not to do, who not to trust.
He said so.
Yeah.
If you remember, you heard him say, and I'm paraphrasing, of course, Senator. I've seen this all before, done this all before. I have a much better idea of how to proceed, who to trust, who not to trust. Experience.
Hold on, I want to share one more, and then I got to step away because I got to prep for my show. And
you better step away. What about your show? Are you going to prep for it? My God, mister.
My show's almost done. I got like a minute or two.
But of course, this is the Babylon Bee. And it says, horrific. The member of the Village People appears to be doing 2 Nazi salutes at the same time.
On the other hand, let me ask you guys before you go. Would either of you be surprised if this photo were taken, placed on social media, and then whomever wrote that and they meant that to be serious? Would you be surprised? Or would you think immediately, well, that's Babylon Bee? Somebody, someone somewhere wishes they'd thought of that.
I would not be surprised. Yes, I would not be surprised at all if somebody tried to make that a real thing.
Yep.
Fortunately, I know it's Kyle Mann at the Bee. He's the editor-in-chief, so I know it's him. But man, the amount of just brilliance that comes along with that, I appreciate it.
I do want to end the show on a little bit of a sad note. I think it's Vermont. We have
Vermont.
What is it? A state trooper that was killed.
No, Border Patrol agent.
ICE.
Yeah.
Was killed by illegal alien. And then they wonder why we need to do close the border. What is it? Riley Lake or
Lake and Riley Act passed.
Yep.
Passed the Senate, going to Trump's desk in the morning.
Winning.
Yep. And
winning.
Quick. And the ones that voted against it should be primaried. Period. With that, I want to thank everybody. I want to thank both of you for being here. I figured it'd be a fun night inauguration. Go over the good and bad of the day. Sean?
8 p.m. tonight, Pacific time. Edge of Liberty, Monday and Wednesday nights now, 8 p.m. Pacific, 10 on the East, 11 on the East Coast.
Where they can find you.
Number
2 against tyranny on X.
Do you see what Joe's doing there, though? Do you see what he's doing to you?
Yeah, he's actually.
This isn't, oh, I really care about Sackhead Sean. No, this is in his brain. He's going, this is get back.
Yes.
Has to do it. Has to do it. But being the professional I am, I'm able to kick it out on demand as requested. I don't just start trailing off and doing other things halfway through the promotional part that we all do for each other's shows and have for 15 years.
I was doing a Biden impression.
End of our opinion. What do we do?
Biden impression. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Everybody knows you're gonna get prompted to put your stuff out there and say everything where you are and where you can be found, but not Joe. Joe, tell people where I can find you. Well, I'm in my garage right now.
Yeah. I answered the question. I
Thanks,
know
buddy.
you got a show to do. Get ready.
I appreciate it. Thank you, buddy.
No problem. Anytime. All right, BZ, your turn.
Well, thank you. I'm going to have a show tomorrow night. Woohoo! I was going to have my cybersecurity expert, Mike Fitzpatrick, on, but I have too much umbrage to just blah. So he's going to be on Thursday night. Now, customarily, my show is on Tuesday and Thursday nights, 8 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. Central, 11 p.m. Eastern, for all the buttery political goodness you could ever want to see, hear, digest. And I will add the word glorious because, of course, that's what it is. Tomorrow night's show is going to be all the stuff that these guys didn't cover, and it's going to make you really pissed off, and it's going to make you really happy, and it's going to make you say hallelujah, and it's going to make you be glad that you're a citizen of the United States of America. Thank you, sir, for having me on.
Anytime, sir. Anytime. And with that, I'm going to pop on out of here. And I want to thank everybody for tuning in. And I'll see everybody on Friday. You can catch Reaver Common Sense. I'm Jersey Joe right here on shrmedia.com. Every Monday and Friday at 9 p.m. You can catch me on Twitter. Just look for Jersey Joe. It's not many of us. I think I'm the only one. Till the end, remember.
They're blowing smoke up my rear end so bad, I'm sending off smoke signals.
Democrat motto.